We're going to spend some time practicing our trees of life from the Gustav Klimt famous painting. When you start a tree, the trunk should be the thickest part of the tree. It's going to come up, and I'm using 2 lines. I'm only going up about halfway. From here, I need to start splitting my tree up into branches. So on this side, I'm going to take this part of the tree and curl it. Now that's not enough to be a branch, that's only 1 line. I'm going to cut this tree up in half by drawing a V shape. It's not touching anything else. I'm going to bring this part of the V over. You can see this has become a branch. I will follow that first line around. As I follow it, you can turn your paper if you want. Until you get to the tip, and you just get smaller and smaller until it comes to a point. Now this one, I could curl the other way. I could bring it up and curl. Whichever way you want, and we can always add more. Now, as you go, don't try and draw the whole line at once, because it's way too hard to do. Whenever you have trouble, pick your pencil up and stop. Decide if that's where you wanted to go. If it got too thin too fast, go back a little bit. Get smaller more slowly. From here, I just pick where I want another swirl to go. I want one right there. I will draw 1 spiral and a second one. Notice that I'm not making my spirals too crazy. If you do a spiral like this, you then have to draw a second line and try and find where your branch is supposed to be. I have no idea where it is at this point. I don't even know what's branch and what's not a branch. So keep your spirals a little spaced out, a little more simple. Now we are going to be using paint to make our branches, and it's actually easier than drawing it. We're drawing these spirals to get a feel for them, but if you get really frustrated about it, don't worry, because the painting will be a little bit easier to do. I'm building branches smaller and smaller as I go. Always have a second line to meet. I'm also erasing that little bit right there so it looks like it's part of the tree. I have a big empty space over here. I made my picture asymmetrical, so it's not even on both sides. I didn't put the tree right in the middle. It's to one side. So on this side, I want my branches to come out, stretch out this way. It doesn't have to look like a realistic tree. I want it to look like the tree of life, which is all sparkly and swirly and crazy looking. I'm finding any empty space that I can. Like right here, this is all kind of empty. Maybe I'll do a small curl to fill up that space. I have a big empty space here, so either I can put a swirl up here or maybe one coming out from this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it from here. I can always change my mind if I don't like it. Forgot to draw my horizon line. There we go. This part looks kind of empty, so I might I might put a little curl in here as well. Alright. After your practice tree is done, you can begin drawing on top of your dried painting for your final tree. Now, when I'm drawing my final tree, I'm starting all the way at the bottom. I'm not starting up here at the back of the horizon line. My tree sits on the ground. So I'm drawing with my pencil up. I'm going to decide how thick I want my trunk. Notice that I left it more space on one side than the other. I'm not pushing hard. It may be hard for you to see on the video. Those lines, I don't want a hard, thick pencil line. I want to see the paint, not my pencil. You don't need to be very exact with your tree because we were painting on top of it anyway, and it's not going to be, the lines aren't going to be exact. All right, I'm making that little V shape. And then I will start with my 2 curls. Now your curls can come down below your horizon line. That's alright. Our tree is in the foreground, meaning it's right up front in our faces. So it can go down above the line, or down below the line. Figure out where you want each spiral to go. One line, and then drag the second line around to meet it. And if it's hard to draw in one stroke, pick your pencil up, move your paper around. Remember, these don't have to be perfect spirals. We're painting on top, and we're not going to see these lines as long as you don't push too hard. So I got a big empty corner up here. I'm going to add a big spiral right there. Don't make your spirals too complicated because remember, you have to add a second spiral to go with it. Erasing on paint is not very easy to do, especially with all this glitter as well. So try to stay light and try to take your time so there's less erasing going on. Remember to fill your sky up. And erase the lines in between the branches.